Hello, UCAR. Peter Christensen here, coming to you from the CEO's desk. Going to talk about something that's relatively new in Utah, and that is a public infrastructure district. A PID, or a PID. I've heard people use all three of those. Hopefully you've heard of them. If not, this is the video for you. So what this is it's, and we're not going to get too technical. This is not a video on how to create one, but it's a way to create something that's kind of like a special service district. It's a quasi-governmental entity that basically allows the development of the infrastructure to be funded through bonds or something similar. And what it does is it allows the infrastructure costs to be pushed off, basically onto the property owners for years and years and years. So it's a way to facilitate development and push off some of the costs. Hopefully bringing down the cost of the development, which allows for a little more affordable housing, but certainly meant to help speed up development as well. So what does it mean? Well, this isn't really, my audience isn't really developers. This is for our real estate people. You need to be aware of these because if a buyer is buying a property that is in one of these districts, then what it means is you basically have, for all intents and purposes, an additional tax on that property for a number of years, depending on how it was structured and how long ago it was done. And so as a buyer goes to analyze, can I afford this property? And they look at a loan cost potentially, they look at property taxes, insurance. Well, this is an additional cost to a buyer potentially that they're taking on. And so if they're right on the line of this is how much this property costs, or this is how much it's going to cost me per month, and here's my income, and then you throw a potentially $300 additional payment onto that monthly payment they're already calculating, that can make a difference. That can make a big difference to a buyer. So you as an agent representing potentially a buyer, it's a good thing to know and be aware of so that your buyer understands, house A, not in a public infrastructure district, a PID. That's what I always heard them called when they were originally doing the legislation, but I don't know, PID, PID, whatever. They know this one's not in one, so what we've calculated is what I'm going to pay. But this one, property B is in a PID, and so I need to be aware of that because it's going to cost me something different. So usually a title report can figure that out, hopefully. There are a handful of these in Utah County, and there are others throughout the state as well. So they do exist, and you just need to be aware. And as a seller, it's probably something you want to disclose, but also it's something to be aware of as you're buying as a future seller, to know you're going to be up against, if you're selling comparable homes, a home is comparable to others that aren't in a PID, they may have an advantage over you in selling that home, their home, because there's an additional payment on yours. So good information to pass on to a buyer so they know exactly what they're signing on to as they buy that property. Hopefully it's an awesome deal and they're excited about it, and as long as that's disclosed and understood up front, then and how long it lasts, how much longer is on that, then they have all the information they need. But you do need to be aware of that and make sure that you understand when a property is in one of those. Remember, this is not legal advice. This is legal information only. If you need legal advice, please contact your attorney. Thanks for tuning in.